Let us continue with the topic. Now we have discussed about coral reefs and their benefits and the information regarding that in the previous video, and now we will discuss about the Indian organizations and legislations regarding environment. The first one is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now what it is for? Now this ministry is for implementation of policies and approach to conservation of biodiversity, to save our habitats and ecosystems, forest, wildlife, and see here, and also it helps you to know the checkpoints and checkmates for pollution, general things. Now this ministry act as nodal agency to United Nations Environment Program UNEP, and also it takes the suggestions and also regarding to policy matters and follow up with United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED. Right, already we have discussed this full forms in the previous video, so I'm writing only in shorts. Now as a part of this ministry and their policies, now Ministry of Environment have released a environmental information system which was established in 1982 by this ministry. Now what it has established? Environmental, I'll write the full form, right? Environmental information system. Environmental information system, which is called NVIS, right? Now see here, NVIS, ENVIS, right? Now which is established in 1982. Now what this NVIS says? Now it focuses on the environmental information, now which will be provided to the general public and to the decision makers, scientists, engineers and research organizations. I mean, what's happening in India and what about the points, approaches taken by the ministries, and what are the points to be checked by the people. So all the information will be given in this NVIS, right? And see here, already we have discussed in detail regarding the pollution boards, which is under this ministry, in detail in ecology topic, in pollution topic. So you can go there and check this, so I'm not repeating the same thing again. So the next organization what we will see is Bombay Natural History Society, right? Bombay Natural History Society. Now this is the oldest organization, right, for conservation of environment and biodiversity. National Bombay Natural History Society. In short, it is called BNHS. Now this BNHS is the oldest conservation research on biodiversity, and it's an NGO, right? Now see here, it was started in 15 September 1883, right? Now already we have discussed this. Now it is for conservation of biodiversity of flora and fauna, and it releases a journal on natural history. Now what is that journal? The famous journal, right? Once it was asked here, Kaun Banega Crorepati also. BNHS publishes a popular magazine called Hornbill. Now this is very famous and also important for your service commission examiners. They publishes a magazine called Hornbill. Now this is a journal regarding biodiversity, ecosystems, and the contemporary issues will be discussed in this magazine, right? Now see here, one more important one, Earth Overshoot Day. Earth Overshoot Day. Write the full things here because this is very important. Now this Earth Overshoot Day is also called as Ecological Debt Day. Ecological Debt Day. Right, now what is this Earth Overshoot Day or Ecological Debt Day, which is also called EDD? Any idea of this? Now see here, now this Earth Overshoot Day or Ecological Debt Day is calculated, and it is an illustrative day on which when consumption of your earth resources for the year exceeds its capacity to regenerate. Now this day is an illustrative date, and it is conducted on a day where your consumption of earth resources is more than their regenerative capacity. Then on that day it is counted as Ecological Debt Day or Earth Overshoot Day. Now it is also known as Ecological Debt Day also. We have discussed this. Now this was observed on August 2 in 2017. On this day, the consumption of earth resources were more than their regenerative capacity. Right? It is an illustrative day. It will not be the same day on every year. I said this is very important. Focus on this. Right? Let us go to the next concept. The most important, Forest Rights Act 2006. Forest Right Act 2006. Now, continuation of this, previously it was Indian Forest Act 1927. Indian Forest Act 1927. Now it was amended and made it as Forest Right Act 2006. Now what this Forest Right Act says? Now this Forest Right Act seeks to recognize and vest the forest right, saving the forest right, and the occupation in forest lands in forest dwellings for scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers who have been residing in such forest for generations but whose rights cannot be recorded. Now see here, this act vests in forest rights and occupation in forest land. An occupation in that forest land. Now this is as per the provisions of Act, rules are framed under. Now see here, this Forest Act has to be implemented by state governments according to the central government. The Act framed. Now before this, there is an in general act called Indian Forest Act 1927. Now this also deals with the forest dwellers. What is the occupation of the tribes which were living from generations in forest. And see here, and also discusses about the conservation of the forest. Now this Indian Forest Act recognizes three types of rights. right? One is land rights, and the second one is use rights, and the third one is right to protect and conserve. So you have to know this, right? Right to protect and conserve. Now what are these land rights? Now see here, land given to the people who are living from generations in the forest, right? And they are given to the people who live prior to December 13, 2005, right? Now this is the land right. Prior to this date, the land rights were given to the people. Right? Now, use rights. Now what are the use rights? This law provides you how to use or how to collect the forest products like your herbs, medicinal plants, like this, how to collect or how to harvest the forest resources, right? I'll write like this. Now right to protect and conserve, the point itself is self-explanatory, right? Now how to manage the forest and the people living in the communities. Now according to Indian Forest Act, the forests are divided into three categories. Now this is very important, right? Reserve forest. The first one is reserve forest. The second one is protected forest. And the third type of forest is village forest. Right. Now, what is this reserve forest? These forests are mostly restricted areas and they may be constituted by state government, which is property of the government, right? Now this is an restricted enclosed area and this is a property of state government. Reserve forest. Now see here, you on the signboards you observe that reserve forest, protected areas, right? You have to be clear on the definitions. Now what is this protected forest then? Now see here, state government have a right, have an power to constitute any land other than the reserve forest to make it as protected forest, right? Now see here, other than reserve forest, I'll write it as RF. Government have a right to make any area as a protected zone, and all the rules regarding to such forest will be same as likewise in reserve forest, right? So why they make these areas? To preserve some kind of plants, some kinds of tree species, right? Now see here, in our AP and Tamil Nadu borders, all the sandalwood trees were made as protected regions, right? To preserve the sandalwood trees. Done? Yes. Now next one, village forest. Now what are this village forest? Now these are one which state government may assign to any village and the rights of the government over land which have been constituted as reserved forest, right? Now see here, this was given to or assigned to any village for their conservation, right? But all the rights will be as same likewise a reserve forest by the state government itself, right? Done? Yes. Now this is Forest Right Act. Now the next one we will deal is Environment Act. Already we have discussed regarding this in environmental degradation and pollution 1986. Now I will give the just basics of this. we have discussed in detail regarding degradation and pollution, right? Again, I will not repeat the same thing. Now this is given by the central government. Now it looks upon the standards of air, water, soil quality. I mean, it will check the pollutants of air, water and soil, and it safeguards the environment by handling of hazardous substance. How to handle hazardous substances, right? How to handle hazardous substances. And next, under this Environment Act, government has also made a one more supplementary act called hazardous waste management rules, right? I'll write down this. Hazardous waste management rules. Hazardous waste management rules 1989, right? How to handle this hazardous substances, and also it gives an important implication to make environmental audit. Environmental audit. I'll write the crux point here. Now these are the salient features of this act. Already we have discussed in detail regarding this, right? Now one more important point to note: as per the government notification according to this Environment Act 1986, coastal land up to 500 meters from high tide line, and a range of 100 meter. Now this is very important, once asked in service commission exam. And a range of 100 meter along river banks. I'll write it as banks directly, okay? River banks, creeks, right? Brackish water, estuaries, and which are subjected to tidal fluctuations are called coastal regulated zone. Coastal regulation zone, which are called as CRZs. Now once it was asked, what is this CRZ? Now you have to answer this. So why this notification was given? Now see here, due to increase and expansion of industries or processing plants, now these areas are being affected drastically. So in order to curb these activities, now this order was taken out. Done? Yes. Now let us discuss one more very important thing, right? Environmental movements and personalities. Now see here, in this very famous movement, Chipko movement or Chipko Andolan, or you call it as Chipko Andolan. What is this Chipko movement or Chipko Andolan? Famous one. Now this Chipko movement or Chipko Andolan was started in Chamoli district in Uttar Pradesh by Gauri Devi and Chendi Prasad Bhatt and Sundarlal Bahuguna. Chamoli district in Uttarakhand. See, I'll write the names also: Gauri Devi, Chendi Prasad, Bhatt, and Sundarlal Bahuguna. Now what is this exactly, right? Now see here, in order to conserve the forest ecosystem in Chamoli, now these three people have started a called Chipko Andolan. Chipko is a place, right? Now see here what they have hugged the trees and stood for days along in order to curb the chop down of the trees by this industrialists and the government. And this Andolan have got Right Livelihood Award also, a famous one. They hugged the trees and stayed for days along. Right Livelihood Award was awarded for this Andolan. Right. Now, on inspiration of this Chipko movement, one more movement have taken, that is called Apico movement. I'll write down this also. Apico movement. Now, on seeing this Chipko movement, now see here in September 1983, again in Uttarakhand only. After Chipko movement in Uttarakhand, not in Uttarakhand. After Chipko movement in Uttarakhand, now this happened in Shimoga district. Shimoga district in Karnataka. Right, now which was headed by Panduranga Hegde. Panduranga Hegde was a follower of Sundarlal Bahuguna. Upon seeing the same Andolan, now see here why the government is destructing the Western Ghats and all the trees and chopping off all the trees for development of industrialization railway lines, and in order to conserve the biodiversity, they have started a movement called Apico movement in Shimoga, Karnataka. Right. The next famous one is Narmada Bachao Andolan, which was headed by Medha Patkar, and Amir Khan was also part of this Narmada Bachao Andolan. Due to this, his movies was not released in Gujarat at that time. Right, it happened in 1985, and see here, started in 1985, but it is going on since then, which was started by Medha Patkar and the famous Baba Amte. Medha Patkar, Baba Amte, Aruna Roy. Right. Now what is this Narmada Bachao Andolan? Due to construction of series of dams on the Narmada river, now the natural habitat has been destructed. In order to conserve the natural habitat and the ecosystem in Narmada river, now these environmentalists have started Narmada Bachao Andolan. One of the largest dam is placed in Narmada on Narmada river. Right. Now these are the three famous movements happened in India. So we are discussing this. Now let us discuss about some events and international days. Right. One is, the first one what we will discuss is Van Mahotsav. Van Mahotsav. Now what is this Van Mahotsav? Now this is an annual Indian tree planting festival. Annual Indian tree planting festival. Right. Now millions of trees are planted during this Mahotsav. Now this was initiated in 1950 by K.M. Munshi. K.M. Munshi is nothing but then agricultural minister in the government. Right. In order to increase the forest area. Now the next one is World Environment Day. World Environment Day. Now see here, it was started by UN General Assembly in 1972 at Stockholm Conference. This you have to remember, right? At Stockholm Conference on Human Development and World Environment Day, which has to be celebrated on June 5th. Now through this environmental awareness will be created, right? So the next one is earth hour. Earth hour, these are all famous things, right? Frequently asked questions, you cannot eliminate this. The next one is earth hour. Now what is this earth hour? Now it is a global event organized by World Wildlife Fund. I am writing only the short form because I have discussed this in pollution. You check there, right? World Wildlife Fund, and this is held on last Saturday of March every year. Last Saturday of March annually, Earth Hour was carried on. Now what is this? This is nothing but asking your households and the businessmen to turn off their lights and their electrical appliances to raise the awareness on climate change. To raise the awareness on climate change, Earth Hour. And the next famous one is Earth Day. Now Earth Day is intended to appreciate for Earth's natural environment, right? Now what is this Earth's natural environment? Now it was founded by United States Senator Gaylor Nason. On April 22nd, 1970. Right? Now it was globally conducted as Earth Day. Now see here why it is conducted. It in order to know about the awareness regarding Earth's natural environment. Earth's natural environment. Done. Now the next one, International Day for Biological Diversity. International Day for Biological Diversity. I write it as BD. Now this is conducted to promote the conservation of biodiversity. Now this is observed on May 22nd annually, right? The next one is World Wetlands Day. We have discussed in detail regarding this wetlands in this topic only, right? Ramsar Conventions, Monterey Records. Now World's Wetland Day was observed on February 2nd every year, and see here this date marks signing off Convention of Wetlands called Ramsar Convention. Now Ramsar Convention was signed on this day, so this day was conducted as World Wetland Day, right? On 2nd February 1971, Ramsar Convention was convened, right? Now this Ramsar is nothing but in Iran. Done. Now the next one is World Ozone Day. Now these are the frequently asked questions, so that's why I'm discussing this World Ozone Day. Now United Nations Assembly have decided that September 16th has to be commemorated as World Ozone Day. Now this designation was made on December 1994, right? On why this was September 16th was commemorated as World Ozone Day, as Montreal Protocol was signed on this day. So September 16th was commemorated as World Ozone Day in order to know the awareness, to show the awareness of depletion of ozone. Depletion of ozone. Got the thing? Yes. Now The next day what we will discuss about is World Forestry Day. World Forestry Day. Now what is this World Forestry Day? Now this World Forestry Day is also called as International Day of Forest and is celebrated on 21st March every year. Now in order to increase the public awareness among the value and significance of forest and balance of life cycle on the earth and balance of life cycle on the earth, right? The next one, famous one, World Water Day. Now this World Water Day was commemorated on 22nd March annually, right? So it means for focusing on the importance of fresh water and advocating sustainable management of freshwater sources. Freshwater sources, right? Now these are the important days that you have to know about this. Now apart from this, there are many environmental institutions in India, right? Likewise your Botanical Survey of India, Zoological Survey of India, National Biodiversity Authority. Now see here, as I am reading here, we have discussed each and every institute in environmental degradation and pollution in detail. No need of worries, you can check that videos. Right. Salim Ali Center for Ornithology and Natural History, Center for Ecological Sciences, Indian Institute of Foreign Management, Indian Central Pollution Board, New Delhi. We have discussed about this. Center for Mining Environment, Dhanbad, right? Your IIT Dhanbad is nothing but Institute of Mines Dhanbad previously, right? So focus on this. Done. We have completed ecology topic.